Hi there, Tim Samoff here. I'm the Program Director of the Games and Interactive Media program at Azusa Pacific University. Our program is a 4-year comprehensive degree that covers the theory, technique, practical tools, and craft required to design and develop games. You know what? It's getting cold out here. Let's go inside. Speaking of craft, I thought it'd be fun to take you on a journey through making games. I'm continually blown away by the work our students are doing. I think you will be too. Game design and development is a multidisciplinary field that incorporates every form of artistic expression. From the first spark of an idea to the creation of narrative, art, audio, and programming, games provide opportunities for creative people of all types. Bringing a game to life can be difficult and time-consuming, and it takes a special sort of person that can express their artistic vision, understand the technical aspects involved, and possess enough grit to make it from the conception of a game through its completion. But most games are a team effort in which everyone's skills support each other. Here at APU, we are constantly engaging with this process, from the first inkling of an idea, to fleshing that idea out, to telling others about the idea, and finally in figuring out how to make it happen. Games aren't just about computers and technology. In fact, nearly every game idea begins on paper. The act of journaling your thoughts and sketching out how the mechanics of the game might work is integral in the production process.
I think that one of the more important aspects of game design is probably journaling your ideas. This is important because it gives you a place to store all the ideas for games that you've ever come up with, whether they're good ideas or bad ideas, big or small projects. They're all in that one easy-to-access place. And this also gives you somewhere to turn to when you can't think of any cool mechanic or nice story idea for any future projects. You can always turn to that pile of ideas that you've accumulated over the years, and you can either bring one to the light or you can use them as inspiration for another idea. Then not only that, but journaling your ideas is also a great portfolio piece to show any future employers, because it shows your dedication and seriousness about game design.
Many games start in the form of detailed documentation that outlines the concept, theme, characters, level design, puzzles, and more. As in many creative industries, doing this sort of pre-production work can cut actual production in half. It's all about every team member having a deep understanding of the game and being able to work together towards a common goal. Working on teams is fun too, especially on projects that can take years to complete. Being able to brainstorm together, be inspired by what everyone around you is creating, and help to solve problems and invent new forms of gameplay is an incredibly fulfilling experience.
The pre-production phase of a game is just getting your idea out on paper, pretty much. For the game A Thread of Snow, we had multiple ideas of how we wanted to approach not just the game, but just the theme, what we wanted to settle on. Originally, it was going to be a cavern or just taking place in a just regular forest area with no snow included. So we thought of seeing a general map layout. We referenced some pictures, what the map will look like, and it helped us during development to always just go back and reference, like, okay, it's going to look like this aesthetically. We want it to be kind of just a collect game, and yeah, it was pretty helpful in helping us develop the game.
Of course, nothing is more exciting than beginning production on a game. Whether you're a storyteller or an artist or a computer programmer, seeing the ideas that you initially put down on paper come to life on the screen is an incredible moment.
I've always loved games, so having the opportunity to create my first ever game was an incredibly exciting experience. I made a game called Eep, A Game of Lost Sheep, and very simple and short adventure game, but just the amount of creativity you feel, how much creative control you have over, you can make the game anything you want, really. It's hard to put in words, that kind of vortex of just that energy you feel. You can write however you want it, you can design it however just something you'd like, and you hope other people like it. And I love that.
Game production is rarely accomplished in a bubble. The majority of games that we play are team efforts that require diverse skills and experience to make them happen. One of the most important skills to develop is the ability to work with others, accept critique, and provide your own insight into the production process.
My role during the production of the game, A Thread of Snow, was being the level and environmental design artist.
My role on the team was the sound designer.
This was a very time-consuming job that required me as a designer to focus on the little details and the overall surrounding environmental structure to produce an immersive sense of world building and thematics to our player.
And so I made all the footsteps, the sound effects that you hear. I also did the voice acting. And all of the sound mixing and whatnot, it was all done mostly by me. Now, while I was the main sound designer, I did have some help from Zach, but that's one of the great things about working on a team is when you work as a team and you're very comfortable with the people that you're working with, you can kind of, the roles are a little bit more malleable. So while I was the sound designer, I also did a lot of work on the code, working with Noah to help make sure that the game was functioning and that the scripting was all done well. Similarly, Zach helped out a lot on sound effects and sound design and whatnot.
And I needed my other team members in order to complete other core functions that we needed in order to get our game done. And without our team, our game would have not been completed.
That's really where working in a team is a blast, is because there are a lot of things as a game designer or just as an artist that you don't feel so confident in. And when you have people that you know that you're comfortable working with, you can say, hey, I feel a little weak here on this section, and they can come in, they can help you, and they'll make it better. And together, through covering each other's weaknesses, that's where you can really let the strengths shine.
Oh, finally.
After months of difficult and creative work, there comes a time when you have to share your game with others. There's nothing better than the thrill of making games, but it's even more exciting to watch others play your game for the first time.
Today I actually wanted to talk about the importance of playtesting, especially because last semester I was able to make 2 games, one in Game Boy Studio, the other in Unity. My first game in Game Boy Studio is more of a narrative-based game, and so it was really fun just like finishing it and then handing it off to my cousin to playtest it. And just seeing her go through it was so fascinating and fun. I loved seeing like what she thought was interesting and like, oh, I should talk to this character more, or like, oh, I want to go here and explore this part because I'm just interested in it. Also, a lot of the times she would be like, so who do I talk to next, or where do I go? And it was just really helpful seeing those moments, those exact moments that were a little unclear. So then later when she was gone, I could actually implement new ways to alert the player where to go. And another way was to create these special areas of interest. So I made all the art in the game, and so just creating like a boulder that looks extra shiny, or like maybe putting some stars by this tree, it really helps to guide the player just in a more organic way to be like, hey, I want you to go in this direction. So I think I definitely recommend playtesting to anyone who wants to make a game. It's so important, and I think that that's the key to making a great game.
I hope you can see how incredible our students' work is. After 4 years of learning the craft of game making, there's no doubt that they'll be able to compete in the industry. One of the great things about the cinematic arts degrees at APU is that students major in making movies, creating animation, designing, and playing games. Then our graduates will go into the real world and do it for a living. What could be cooler than that? Thank you for coming on this journey with us, and check out some of the games you saw here at apucinema.com/play.